How does it feel to have no wife and no kids at 30? How embarrassing, my father said while my whole family laughed. So, I told him, how does it feel that I'm the one supporting you at 48? By the way, starting tomorrow, you'll be paying your own bills. My name is Dean. I'm 30. I own a small gas station off Route 17. The one with the flickering O in open that I keep meaning to fix, but never do, because there's always something more urgent. Broken card reader, leaky roof over pump 3. A regular who needs a jump at 2 a.m. People think gas stations run themselves. They don't. I mop, stock, reconcile, unclog, and smile. That's my life most days. In my family, I'm the background guy, not the golden one, not the disaster, just the one who shows up, keeps the lights on, pays when the bill accidentally lands in my lap. My dad says I'm practical. My mom says I'm dependable. What they really mean is I'm useful. There's a difference, and it has a cost. I grew up in a rental behind the hardware store. The kind of place where the window rattles when trucks pass. My sister Mia is 2 years younger and the son of the family. She does hair, posts reels, and somehow gets 4 birthdays a year, actual cake, candles, attention. If Mia needs a deposit for a new chair at her salon, we all rally. If I need a day off after a 12-hour shift, I'm told I'm lazy. That's the balance. At the station, I like the quiet right before dawn when the coffee is fresh and the air is cold. I count the drawer, check the cameras, and listen to the hum of the coolers. It feels like possibility. Then my phone starts buzzing and the spell breaks. Dad, swing by tonight. Family dinner. No details. It's never really an invitation. It's roll call. I go anyway, because ignoring it just makes the next dinner worse. Dinner means my parents' house, a narrow place with a too loud TV, and a table that's always sticky at the edges. Mia arrives late with a laugh big enough to fill the room. Dad's already 2 beers in, telling the same story about that one time he almost bought a franchise. I bring a pie nobody eats. I sit. I listen. I nod. When there's a lull, Mom aims the old questions at me. Still single, still at the gas station. She says it like a stage whisper, like she's warning me about myself. I shrug. Yeah, it pays the bills. Whose dad says and grins at his own joke. We move through plates. We move through little cuts. Mia talks about a new balayage technique, like she invented hair. Dad laughs too loud, glancing at me to make sure I know I'm supposed to laugh, too. I'm good at taking the hit and letting it pass. I was taught early. Don't make a thing. After dessert, Dad leans back, hands on his stomach, and looks at me like I'm a TV he's bored of. He goes for the line, casual and sharp. How does it feel to have no wife and no kids at 30? How embarrassing, he says. The room laughs. Not big, not me, just easy. The kind of laugh that says, we know the script. We know your role. I stare at my slice of untouched pie and feel my jaw lock. I swallow. Something tight and old moves in my chest. I don't blow up. I don't storm out. I file it away the way I always do. But this time, the drawer won't close. I smile without teeth. Good pie, I say, and stand to clear the plates. That's my cue. That's my part. But inside, a new voice whispers, this is going to change soon. I didn't plan on owning a gas station. It started with graveyard shifts at a 24/7 place off the highway when I was 19. Just a job to keep me moving after Dad's hours got cut and we needed help with rent. I learned the rhythm fast. Truckers, at 3 a.m. high schoolers buying energy drinks like their medicine. The occasional tweaker who wants to trade a car jack for cash. You keep your head. You keep your hands visible. You keep receipts. After a few years, the owner wanted out. I knew the numbers better than he did. I bought the place with a small business loan and a handshake deal on the inventory. The day I got the keys, I cried in the office bathroom. Not because I was happy, because I was terrified. The station took everything. I fixed what I could and patched what I couldn't. I learned to order fuel like a gambler. How much risk you take depends on what you believe about next Tuesday. When credit card fees went up, my profit margins blinked out like bad neon. When the summer storms rolled in, I was on the roof with a tarp, while thunder crawled across the sky. Still, I kept alive. I made payroll. I paid suppliers. And when Dad's truck needed a new transmission and Mia's salon chair deposit bounced, I paid that, too. Just till Friday. They said, Friday is a long word in my family. Mia is the golden one. I told you that. She never asked to be, and yet she never said no to it either. At gatherings, Mom brags about her entrepreneur spirit. When Mia shows up late, we wait to eat. When I show up early, I'm told to set the table. That's what favoritism looks like from the cheap seats. It's not confetti and spotlights. It's 100 small pivots that always turn away from you. Money talk at our house comes wrapped in family needs. Dad's line, we stick together. The translation, Dean pays first. When I got the station, he started showing up with ideas. Partnership, he said, tracing the word in the air like a logo. I can help run the books. I told him the books were fine. They weren't, but they were mine. He didn't like that answer. He said I was ungrateful. I said I was busy. We both weren't wrong. Then there was the thing with me, is tax debt. She forgot to file for 2 years. And when the letter came, she looked at me with eyes like a kicked dog. They'll garnish, she said, as if the IRS was a mean teacher and I was the hall pass. I paid the minimum to stop the bleed. I'll pay you back, Deanie, she said sweet and fast. 3 months later, she posted new mirrors for the salon. No mention of me. My parents keep a scoreboard you can't see. Every ride, every bag of groceries they bought me when I was 18 is still on it. We did a lot for you, Mom says when I hesitate to cover a bill. She says it softly, like a pillow over the mouth. She's not wrong. They did what they could, but in our house, help is a loan with no paperwork and heavy interest. It got worse last winter. Dad hurt his back at work. He was out for a month. He didn't tell me until his landlord called me directly. You're the contact on the file, the landlord said. I didn't even know I was a contact on anything. They're behind, he added. 3 weeks. I covered it because I couldn't stand the thought of my mom packing boxes in the rain. I told myself it was a one-time thing. It never is. Every time I ask for space, I'm told I'm dramatic. Every time I say no, I'm told I'm petty. At Mia's birthday, when I asked Dad to stop calling me depressing in front of the cousins, he said I couldn't take a joke. When I brought a bottle of decent whiskey and nobody opened it, I felt 16 again, holding a perfect report card while everyone cooed over Mia's new nails. It sounds small written out. Small things stack. At the station, the pressure turned into numbers. Delayed deliveries because I pushed a supplier too long. An NSF fee because a surprise autopay hit the account the same day Mia borrowed $600 for product. A chargeback from a guy who claimed he didn't buy $80 in diesel even though I watched him do it. On a Tuesday, my card processor threatened to raise my rate if my dispute ratio didn't improve. On a Thursday, my dad texted, "Your mother's phone bill. Fix it." No, please. No context. Just fix it. I stared at the text until the screen dimmed. I started keeping count because feelings felt slippery. In 90 days, my family called me 2 times. 86 were about money. 14 were about a ride, a pickup, a couch to nap on after a fight. 12 were how are you? Only 3 waited for the answer. The final straw before everything blew was a Sunday dinner that turned into a budget meeting without my consent. I walked in to find an actual notepad on the table labeled Dean's contributions with columns and percentages like I was a grant. Dad had written in block letters. Rent 40%, utilities 35%, family phone plan 100%. You use it too, he said. Mia's business loan 25%, just temporary, and a line at the bottom. Emergency fund family. I read it twice then looked up. What is this? I asked. Dad shrugged. We're organizing. You want to be taken seriously? Be serious. I own a business, I said, and heard how defensive it sounded. I am serious. Then act like it, he said. You've been blessed. Share the blessing. Mia watched me with her chin tilted up like she was on a reality show. It's not a big deal, Dee. You make good money. I laughed. It sounded like a cough. Do I? You're always at that station, Dad said. Don't tell me you're broke. That was the thing. I wasn't broke. I was compressed. There's a difference between not having money and not being allowed to keep it. I went home that night with a list in my pocket and a throb behind my eyes. It happened 3 weeks later at a barbecue that was supposed to be just family. The grill was going. The cousins were there. Music too loud for the tiny yard. Mia's new boyfriend had an opinion about everything. He called my station cute. I smiled and poured him a soda. I counted the hits and let them pass. Then Dad found an audience for his favorite game. Compared Dean to everyone else. Look at your cousin Rob, he said, pointing with his beer. Wife, 2 kids, mortgage, real life. Dean, still playing shopkeep. Dad, I said, a warning in my voice. He waved me off. I'm making a point. About me? I asked. Or about you? He smirked. How does it feel to have no wife and no kids at 30? How embarrassing. He delivered it like a punchline he'd been saving. The whole table laughed because laughing was easier. I stood there holding the ketchup like a prop. Something in me leveled out. Not fire, not ice, just clear. I set the bottle down, wiped my hands on a napkin, and stepped closer so I didn't have to raise my voice. Do you want to do this for real? I asked. Dad rolled his eyes. Here we go. You want to talk embarrassment? I said, steady. How does it feel that I'm the one supporting you at 48? The laughter stopped like someone pulled the plug. Dad's face changed. First confusion, then heat. Watch your mouth. I pay your rent, I said. Your phone, your truck insurance. I paid the late fee on your electricity last month. I paid Mom's bill the month before that. I paid me his taxes. I paid for the food we're eating right now. I buy the charcoal. I buy the paper plates. I buy the little flags on the cupcakes. Embarrassing is having a son and treating him like an ATM. Mom stiffened. Mia blinked like a doll. Someone turned the music down. The yard closed in until all I could hear was my own heart. Dad stood, chest out, trying to make it about posture. You don't talk to me like that in my house. It's the landlord's house, I said, and I watched the words hit him. And he calls me first. Deanne, Mom said, warning and plea wrapped together. I took a slow breath. This isn't about revenge. This is about closure. So here it is. Starting tomorrow, you'll be paying your own bills. For a second, everybody was a statue. Then the noise came back all at once. Are you serious? Mia snapped. What about my business? You promised. I didn't, I said. You heard the word help and translated it to forever. That's on you. Dad pointed at me like he could poke a hole. We're family. Family helps family. I agree. I said family helps, not exploits. There's a line. You trampled it. You think you're better than us, he spit. I think I'm tired, I said. I think I'm done buying respect with rent receipts. Mom tried a new angle, softer. Dean, be reasonable. You know your father's back. He can't. He can apply for assistance. I said he can talk to his landlord himself. He can downsize, budget, sell the truck he can't afford. He can stop handing out my hours like party favors. You ungrateful little dad started, and I held up my hand. No more names, I said. Come like steel. Here's what happens next. I'll cover what I've already committed to through the end of this month. After that, I'm out. No loans. No, just this once. No, we'll pay you Friday. If you text me about money, I won't respond. If you show up at my station, I'll call the police. If you want to talk about something that isn't a bill, I'm here. If not, good luck, Dean. Mia said, voice small for the first time. Please. They'll cut my account. I'll lose clients. You could have paid the IRS before the ring light, I said. Choices. Dad stepped closer, jaw flexing. You think you're a man because you sell gas? I think I'm a man because I learned to stand up, I said. And because I'm not going to fund my own disrespect anymore. He opened his mouth. I shook my head once. I'm going home, I said. I hope you all figure it out. But I'm not your plan anymore. Nobody moved to stop me. I walked out holding my keys like a talisman, heart pounding so hard I could feel it in my teeth. In the driveway, I leaned on my truck and looked at the sky. It was one of those evenings where the clouds look like stacked plates. I waited for guilt to crash over me. It didn't. What came instead was silence. I didn't recognize it at first. It was mine. I stuck to it. The next morning, my phone lit up the way a slot machine does in movies. Buzz after buzz, banner after banner. I turned it face down on the counter and brewed coffee. I took my time. I sliced a banana the way my grandmother used to. Coins in a line. I ate standing up in my kitchen like a person who belongs in his own life. Then I picked up the phone. 27 missed calls, 52 messages, 3 voicemails from Dad that went from angry to desperate to angry again. A long text from Mom full of words like disappointed and hurting us, plus a short one at the end. Your father is humiliated. Mia were fast bursts. They froze my account. They're charging fees. D answer, and a photo of a notice like it was a newborn. I didn't answer. I walked into the station and did the opening myself even though I had an employee scheduled. I needed the ritual. Lights, unlock, count. The ding of the door when I flipped the sign to open felt like church. Before noon, Mom showed up. She didn't buy anything. She stood in front of the counter with her hands clasped like she was praying at me. Dean, she said quiet. We can't do this. You mean I can't? I said, and kept my voice even. But I can, and I'm going to. We raised you, she said like a spell. We did everything for you. You did what you could, I said, and I've done what I could. It's time for everybody to do what they can for themselves. She looked around the station like it might agree with her. You always wanted to be the hero. I always wanted to be treated like a person, I said. There's a difference. She left without buying the water she was holding. I watched her toss it into the passenger seat of Dad's truck and slammed the door like the water offended her. In the afternoon, Dad called from a number I didn't recognize. You blocked me, he said when I picked up. I filtered you. I said, if it's an emergency, call 911. It is an emergency. He snapped. They're shutting off the electricity. You got a shut-off notice last month. I said, I paid it. You said you'd set up a plan. Did you? He hung up. 10 minutes later, he texted a photo of the notice, and then another of his face, red and furious, like proof of the injury I'd caused. I set the phone down. I wrote on a sticky note, everything is a crisis when you refuse to plan. I stuck it to the register where I could see it. The first week was noise. By day 2, my aunts weighed in. By day 3, a cousin I haven't seen in years sent me a paragraph about honoring parents. By day 4, Dad tried a new tactic, showed up with a church friend who runs a financial ministry, and wanted to pray over my wallet. I told them to leave. They didn't. I called the police. The officer knew my dad. That made it worse and better. He told them to go. He told me to document. I already had. The second week was quiet in a different way. The call slowed. The text got shorter. Wow. Mia wrote one night. I didn't think you'd actually do it. I didn't answer. I scrolled the messages, sometimes like photos of a storm I'd survived. I noticed the pattern, how it shifted from anger to guilt to bargaining to silence. Silence is the last stage. People think it's acceptance. Sometimes it's just exhaustion. At home, I did small things I've been putting off. I replaced the shower head that sputtered. I donated the box of clothes I kept because maybe I'll wear them. I bought a cheap rug that made the living room feel less temporary. I started running again early before the town woke up because I liked the sound of my feet on empty streets. It felt like building something even when I wasn't at the station. On a Tuesday, I got a group text from Mom titled Family Emergency Meeting. It had a location, a time, and a list. Budget, responsibilities, expectations, Dean. I read it twice. I replied with one line. I won't be there. Dad responded with 3 words. You will be. I didn't go. They held it without me and posted a photo later like it was a cookout. I stared at the image, the table, the notebooks, Mia's boyfriend with a serious face, and felt a clean sadness. They were meeting about me again like I was a problem to solve instead of a person to listen to. I went for a drive and ended up in the empty lot behind the station where the trucks park at night. I turned off the engine and sat. The sky was a hard blue. I counted the slats in the fence until my thoughts quieted. The third week, consequences arrived. Dad's truck disappeared from the driveway. Voluntary surrender. He told someone on speaker before he realized I'd answered. The lights went out at the house for a day. Mia's salon announced temporary closures for renovations, which was code for no cash flow. Mom called to tell me that the family phone plan would be canceled unless someone paid. I said they should cancel it. She gasped like I proposed murder. How will we talk? She asked. You can call me, I said. When you're ready to talk about something other than money. She hung up. An hour later, she sent a photo of a camel at dinner because the power's out, but we're making the best of it. There was a smiley face. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. In the middle of all that, something strange happened at the station. Customers noticed I was lighter. I didn't tell them anything, but I guess you can hear when a voice is carrying less. A regular named Mr. Patel asked if I'd finally hired help. I said, not yet. He said he had a nephew who needed work. I interviewed the nephew the next day. Good kid, honest eyes. I hired him for evenings and for the first time in months, went home before midnight. On Friday, I got a single text from Dad. I applied for assistance. They said it'll take time. They asked for documents. Don't know where they are. I could read the humility he didn't know how to show. I typed and deleted 3 replies. Finally, I wrote, ask the caseworker for a checklist. Ask them to repeat anything you don't understand. Bring a notebook. Write it down. You can do this. He didn't respond. That was okay. The point wasn't applause. The point was capacity. The missed calls and unread messages became a kind of symbol. I didn't delete them. I let them sit like proof of a line drawn in permanent marker. Some nights I scrolled to the beginning, to the barbecue, to the jokes, to the laugh that wasn't a laugh at all. I didn't brood. I observed. I drank water. I slept. On Sunday, I skipped dinner on purpose. I made pasta at home and ate it on the floor because my new rug made the floor feel like a couch. My phone buzzed once, a photo of the table, without me, and then it didn't. The silence on the other side felt like a room I could finally enter. I'm not going to lie and say everything is fixed. It isn't. Dad still thinks respect should come with fear. Mom still talks in circles when she wants something. Mia still posts boss babe quotes and forgets to pay taxes. They're themselves on myself. The difference is I finally let that be true without paying for it. What changed in me isn't anger. It's boundaries. I say no without a speech. I say yes when it's clean. If Dad asks for advice, I give it. If he asks for money, I don't. If Mia wants me to co-sign anything, I won't. If Mom starts the "we did everything" script, I end the call. Not with cruelty, with practice. This isn't about revenge. I told Dad that night, and it still isn't. It's about closure. Closure is boring from the outside. It's receipts in a folder, a calendar reminder to reconcile on Thursdays, a list on the fridge that says sleep, water, laundry, run. It's making a sandwich and eating it slowly. It's understanding that family is not a password that unlocks your bank account. It's recognizing that love without respect is just need wearing your face. A week ago, Dad texted a photo of a rental sign in front of a smaller place. Might apply, he wrote. No exclamation points, no guilt, just a thing he was doing. I told him the application fee was sometimes negotiable. He said, okay, that was it. It felt bigger than it looked. The moral is simple because simple is all I can maintain. You don't owe anyone your ruin. You can love people and still refuse to finance the disrespect they serve you with a smile. I'm the same man I was before. Gas station owner, early mornings, coffee that's too strong. The difference is I'm not a background character paying for the scene. I'm in it. I'm speaking. And when someone laughs at a line that cuts me, I don't pick up the plates anymore. I pick up my keys. I go home. I build a life that fits.